Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Film Odyssey podcast, where me and my brother truck through cinema on a quest to find the best film ever made. And this week, it's Titanic.
You mean like it's big? Or
it's very big.
Like huge?
This was at one point the biggest film.
A synonym for gargantuan.
Large and in charge.
Oh, okay.
This was all of those things. It's fucking James Cameron.
So you would say in some ways this is Titanic.
This is a Titanic film about Titanic.
Oh, like the boat.
Like the boat.
Oh, you mean ship?
Yes. So yeah, we watched Titanic this week, directed by James Cameron, starring...
This week? It was mere moments ago.
Directed by James Cameron, starring Kate Winslet and a young, floppy-haired Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
Randy had low expectations.
I thought I was going to loathe this movie. It was alright. Probably wouldn't watch it again.
Really?
I mean, alright, I shouldn't say it was alright. It was good. It was really good. Not my cup of tea.
Now, I know you're not a fan of, like, melodrama romance films, just across the board.
No.
But did this at least take a whack at that established foundation a little bit? Were there parts of this you really enjoyed, or just across the board it was fine?
There were parts I enjoyed, yeah. Like, I thought the acting was pretty good for the most part. There's some parts where it was, like, really hammy. And really kind of like, geez. But, like, the acting for the most part was good. Obviously, all the set work and all that stuff was amazing. The costume design, like, the setup for it.
The design and all that.
Well, no. I mean, like, the setup for the story, right? Where any of that. I thought the whole movie took place just like back in the day, you know. I didn't know that it was like, it's mostly like a flashback retelling type thing.
There's a big framing device.
Yeah, and I thought that was good. I thought it was really good in those aspects. But it's not my cup of tea. I don't like these grand, huge romances.
You like grand epics, where there's a lot of action and things like that.
I don't like this whole like star-crossed lovers thing. It doesn't really like appeal to me. I don't really get it. Kinda. Really? I don't mean to be like that guy.
I might just be a sucker for like a good love story, because I think this is a good love story.
Yeah, it's a good love story.
It's kind of sad though, because it's the least interesting thing about this movie. I'm gonna be real with you. There's so much about this movie I find like masterful in terms of filmmaking, the art direction, the set design, the acting. All the like side characters I find incredibly interesting. But the main caveat that, well, it's a romance. It's like, yeah, it's a good romance, but it's a kind of very predictable melodrama romance.
Yeah, extremely predictable, kind of like quintessential, you know? They only put the stuff everybody would enjoy right there, you know? It's like...
I kind of get it, because it is also kind of this perfect distilling of all those romance tropes into like just a fine wine, as it were. It's just a little too sweet for my taste.
Yeah, but it's just a little... I don't know, it's kind of like the whole grand romance part of it is kind of bland, honestly.
But what's not bland? Because you said something about like all the art direction and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's obviously amazing, you know, the whole set.
Fun fact about the set, everything that you see is not only historically accurate, if it could have been, it was made by the same company that made it back in 1912.
Uh-huh.
To the point that when you see shots of the Titanic underwater, that's the actual Titanic. James Cameron went down there and filmed all that stuff.
Yeah. So James Cameron decided to, like, you know, he cracked his knuckles and he's like, I want to get as anal as possible at the accuracy of this movie.
Yes, but there is a conspiracy theory about this movie.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you know the thing that Jack says, you know, when we get back to America, we'll get some cheap beers and ride the roller coaster in Santa Monica?
Uh-huh.
The roller coaster in Santa Monica didn't get built till like 1918, 1920.
Uh-huh.
Years after this movie takes place. So people think he's a time traveler to save Rose, who gives birth to John Connor's grandmother. And it's Titanic and Terminator in the same cinematic universe.
Bruh.
Coincidence? I think not.
Can we go back to the movie?
Sorry, I did a little bit of coke before this.
Can we go back to the movie, please?
Sure, yeah. But yeah, like...
I need an adult.
But yeah, so like a lot of this movie, just for some reason, he was overly anal about the specific accuracy of this.
Yeah.
This movie is really weird, and it was a fucking Titanic work to get made. I'm gonna see how many times I can say Titanic in this episode.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I mean,
all that stuff is like really cool and all. You know, it's hats off to James Cameron. You know, he really fucking went at it. But I mean, he had the budget to do so.
Yeah, at the time it was the most expensive film ever made at $200 million. They had to bring in Paramount and Fox to join forces to make this movie happen.
Whoa, now that's big.
Yeah, and you want to know the best part? James Cameron, he wrote this script on fucking spec, and then he had to go into boardrooms and just convince them. I want to know whose cock James Cameron sucked to get this movie made.
No, dude, he's just that fucking... He just knew exactly where to hit them with.
You want to know how he got Aliens made?
Oh.
He walked into a boardroom, wrote Alien on a whiteboard, put an S next to it, and put 2 slashes through it to make it look like a dollar sign. And that was his pitch for Aliens.
I mean, yeah.
They had cleared him for $30 million on that moment.
I mean, Alien was a great movie.
That's an amazing movie.
I mean, like, it would probably... If I was on this, like, board meeting thing, it wouldn't take much convincing for James Cameron to make Aliens 2 and just make more aliens in the movie. Like, sure, yeah, go ahead, dude. Like, and the first one turned out great. Go for it.
But he can't write Titanic on a whiteboard and just say, this. He also had to convince and be like, yo, we're not gonna build a Titanic model and just film it under the water. I need you to get me a submarine. Actually, like 3 or 4 of them. And then, like, fund me to go search up the Titanic. Also, it's gonna take me, like, 2 years to do it. Also, I'm James Cameron.
Also, by the way, it's not $30 million this time. It's gonna be, like, $200 million. But first, I'm gonna tell you it's probably gonna be, like, $150 million. I'm gonna ask for $50 million later. This is probably what happened.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. He also said it'll only take, like, 180 days to do it. 250 days later, he's like, I need another, like, 30 days.
Yeah.
Actually, crazy part about this production is just how massive it was. They filmed it in Nova Scotia, and then they moved the entire production to the Gulf of Mexico to film the sinking.
Uh-huh.
And my understanding is they did that because then, like, the Screen Actors Guild couldn't go down there and talk about, like, the union shit, because he almost killed the actors in this, like, 4 fucking times.
I mean, yeah. You know, he's trying to get the accuracy, you know?
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm talking about all the production history of this because it's just so fascinating to me.
Well, yeah, I was because you alluded to the fact that you know that they knew a lot about the production history to this, and I was kind of like, you know, just waiting for you to like word vomit all the production stuff. So I'm just letting you go, you know.
No worries.
You got anything else?
Nah. We'll just roll with actually talking about the movie.
You don't want to talk about the Oscars? You don't want to talk about how much it made?
Okay, well, if you want to know how much it made $2 billion. Making it the highest grossing film of all time.
Not adjusted for inflation.
Not adjusted for inflation. Adjusted for inflation, it is the 3rd highest grossing film of all time.
Still pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty fucking good.
I mean, the only movies that beat it was James Cameron again with Avatar in 2009. And then Avengers Endgame, which only broke number 2. Yep. Poor Marvel. Can't beat James Cameron. Just fucking triangling these fuckers.
I thought a different movie beat it if adjusted for inflation, like Gone with the Wind or some shit.
Gone with the Wind beats all of them adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. Which is ridiculous how much money that movie made. Yeah. And this movie also won like 11 Oscars, tying Ben-Hur for the most wins, and also tying All About Eve for the most nominations. It was nominated for 14.
Yeah.
And this movie still like swept 11 of them. Which makes it... this is the second movie on this list with 11 Oscar wins out of the 3 that have existed. Because we haven't had Return of the King on the AFI yet. But soon.
Is it even an American movie?
Yeah. Lord of the Rings Fellowship is on here.
Is it?
Yes!
Oh.
We're gonna watch it in like a couple of
weeks.
Oh
god, I feel like I'm so like... I feel like I've just woken up here. Like, you know...
I mean,
all of a sudden, I've just like woken up sitting in this chair recording. I'm like, oh god, where am I?
I've droned on for a little bit.
The Fellowship is on this list?
Let's talk about the actual movie a little bit.
Let's
talk about the actual movie. So, I know I'm not a big fan of like the melodrama of the romance, but like there is a fascinating thing going on here with memory. And I was noticing that in Rose's retelling of the story, that we're kind of seeing this weird, like, filtering of memory going on. We only see the good parts of Jack. We only see the slimy aspects of Cal. We only see, like, the pompous aspects of her mother. We only see the kind of boisterous versions of Molly. It really kind of, like, distills everybody down to being very broad strokes of characterization.
Which could be led into by the fact that it's, like, a memory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see that, but that's just, like, one of those things where it's just, like, this is just, like, another, like, film kind of theory about the movie where it's, like, you know, since it's a memory, man, like, you know, Cal is always gonna be this like bad thing that she remembers. But like I don't really care about that, man.
Okay, what do you care about?
But I just care about how the characters, how they were, as they are. You know, like how I wish there was like maybe a little something to make Cal redeemable, but there's not. Like even in the stuff where it's like obviously Rose doesn't remember him doing that because she wasn't there to remember him doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's still a slime ball.
Yeah.
So obviously, wait, that disproves what you're just saying, because there's parts of this movie where Rose isn't present.
And she has the assumption.
With the assumption that he got on a boat using a child and then got off.
I mean, he's a slime ball.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
But I mean, like, she wasn't there for that. She didn't need to like disparage him more in her memory than she already did.
He was kind of a dick, though.
Well, yeah, he's a huge dick.
Poor Billy Zane. This kind of like this didn't ruin his career, but it really typecast him as the slimy asshole forever. I
mean, has he gotten good work out of it? Hold up, we about to check. Sheesh. Well, I mean, he's gotten a lot of work, but it's not any really, nothing big.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the thing about Billy Zane is after this, he got the typecast of being kind of like the slimy asshole, and then that was his thing for
and he didn't get any redeemable moments.
Not really. I mean, Leo, on the other hand, became, teenage dream icon, right?
Well, yeah, he only ever did anything right in this movie.
Right? But it's weird because after that, like, you think about it, like, is this movie the reason why Leo never got the Oscar? Because everybody just was like, fuck Titanic.
Well, I don't blame him, I'm another person that's like, yeah, fuck Titanic, like...
Why do people have a hate on for this movie? I think that's the real question I have about this. Why do people vehemently hate this? Because I watched this and I'm like, I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. I liked it.
Because it's just so plain, with being so grandiose about it. The story itself is really plain, honestly. Like, if you dig down to what, like, just the story is of this movie, it is, like, fucking white bread. It's like a fucking sugar sandwich. Like,
sugar implies money. And this movie had a lot of money.
It had a lot of fucking money, so there was sugar in that white bread sandwich.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a...
Like, everything else about the movie is great. It's so huge and grandiose, and there's all this attention to detail, and the costuming's great, and all the, like, interactions with, like, the characters most of the time. Most of the time, the interactions...
Where do you have the, like, most of the time thing?
Well, it's mostly when it involves, like, the three main characters, Cal, Rose, and, Jack. Where, like, it all seems so unrealistic when the three of them are together, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm Cal, right, playing devil's advocate over here, like, when he, like, invites Jack to dinner, right, like, why is he escorting Rose's mom instead of escorting Rose? Jack is obviously Mr. Serial Girl.
Yeah.
Like, this guy must be fucking brain dead not to see that.
It is really weird because Cal as a character is somebody that I almost see where he is as a person. He's like, oh, I proposed to your fiance, and then, this is Mr. Serial Girl, and he's really fucking pissed about it.
Well, yeah. Makes sense. But the thing is that, like, there's no, like, he doesn't have a moment in this film, right, to reveal his motives, to be like, I am this person, this is why I'm doing these things, yada, 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 right? In any kind of, like, clear aspect. He doesn't get his day. He doesn't get his spotlight to, like, present his case, It's not, he doesn't get his moment at the end of M, to be like, I'm a horrible person, but there's a reason.
Randy's like, I want a reason why he's such a dick. That's not just because he's rich.
Yeah, exactly, it's like, and also, like, all the rich people are dicks except for the one lady who's like, she's a country bumpkin or whatever.
Kathy Bates, Molly Brown.
Yes. Yeah. Also, I mean, I like her character, but her character seems very... I know, but her character seems very modern.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was, like, the whole thing that they made a comment as, that she was, like, new money.
Yeah,
and
I understand that.
That was probably made intentionally by Cameron, where it's like, oh, the people who are, like, the new money or whatever seem more modern than everyone else.
Yes.
Whereas all the people who are, like, old money are basically fucking Victorian-era ladies and gentlemen and shit.
Yes.
Which is, like, weird.
It's a little off-putting, it makes sense, but it's ham-fisted, all right? Like, that,
Yeah.
it's just the way it goes, you know?
Well, I'm wondering if the reason why the film is doing that, like, being so, like, our story is pretty piss simple, easy to follow, nothing crazy going on,
Maybe
pretty
that's how
broad.
Cameron was able to make the movie.
That's probably exactly it. That's kind of what I'm getting to, is he's like, look, give me $200 million, the most money you've ever given to any film. I know the last time you did this and they filmed in open water was Waterworld, and that did gangbusters, but come on, guys, believe me. Like, that was probably the only reason he was able to do this. He's like, this script is piss simple. It will win a bunch of Oscars. I will push the boundaries of what we can do with all the technology available. We'll be able to tell this really easy story, huge crowd pleaser. Trust me, I made Terminator 2. That was probably how we ended the conversation every time. Don't worry, trust me, I made Terminator 2.
Yeah, he was like, remember Aliens, Terminator 2?
Come on.
Come on.
It's my thing, guys. It's my thing.
He's like, you're gonna remember Avatar? And they're like, what's that? And they're like, don't worry about it.
Just give it a second. I just saw Dances with Wolves like last week. Trust.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of these things where it's like, you know, the movie probably wouldn't have gotten made if it had a more nuanced story. And obviously, I like the more nuanced stories, you know, where, like, the bad guy has a reason for like, how he is and whatnot. You know what's funny, actually, is I watched, like, that scene from the Street Fighter movie. You know the scene with M. Bison and...
yeah, the greatest villain scene of all time.
Yes, where, like, she gives this whole speech about, like, oh, you came to my village and my father died defending it and whatnot. And
the day M. Bison came to your village.
No, I got it. Let me quote it, because I have a much better memory than you, and I just saw this. And, you know,
acting like I don't remember that.
Or the day I graced your village with my presence was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Clinks wine glass.
He fucking clinks his wine glass and drinks, dude. It's like you understand his character from then on. You know, he is cold, cunning, no cares. Like, he just
and also Raul Julia is elevating that movie to heights we cannot possibly imagine.
Bro, that line is gold. There's a line in fucking Titanic as good as that line, as that whole, like, little bit. There isn't. Like, it just. I don't know why we've tangented into Street Fighter, but it's just one of these things that kind of shows, like, there's that kind of, like, there's something missing here, you know? Like,
I know it's weird to say that, oh, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of heart in this movie, when the whole movie is a fucking love story, but there's not, it feels like...
soul!
Yeah, and I wonder if that's a thing, because I've heard people accuse... I've actually heard people accuse Stanley Kubrick of this a lot. Where he's more kind of wrapped up in the spectacle, but not so much in the human story. But that I don't think really applies to every Kubrick film. But for Cameron, it kind of does. Because in, like, Terminator 2, he's really big in, like, spectacle, action, you know, visual, like, putting these things on the screen and just showing you what we can do. But the personal stories, it's, like, pretty easy to follow, pretty simple. Just roll with it. Even Aliens. And Aliens, it's like, it has this, like, theme of, like, motherhood and all this other stuff. But if you follow the movie, it's like spectacle, big effects, huge action stuff. That movie looks like decades ahead of everything else at the time. And the story itself is, it's a Vietnam action movie. It's a Vietnam War movie.
Yeah,
that's Aliens.
Yeah.
And in Titanic, it's kind of feels like the same way, where he's like, I know the plot beats. I know all the points.
He's just
trying
going
to
through it and
do
Romeo and Juliet, but, you know, extremely historically accurate on Titanic.
Scarily historically accurate.
Yes.
You know, James Cameron got stabbed during this movie.
He got stabbed during this
movie? In the face.
How?
So, this is a great story. So, they were filming in Nova Scotia, and he had fired some, like, set hander or whatever for, like, you're fucking up a thing. I'm James Cameron. Get the fuck off my set.
Yes.
And they're having lunch and they're eating chowder, right?
Yes.
The guy comes in and slips LSD into the chowder, and then it goes out to everybody in the cast and crew. And everybody starts tripping balls on, like, LSD.
Sure.
And James Cameron says he started feeling really weird, and then some people started feeling sick, and he got up and walked outside, and he looked onto the sky, and he saw the entirety of Avatar laid out before him. And then he turned to his AD who had walked out, who was just uncontrollably laughing, and he started laughing to her, like, back at her, and she stabbed him in the face with a pen. And then he just kept laughing and wandered off and fell asleep under a tree.
Oh, okay. It was only with a pen.
Yeah. But that's another thing. People got fucking, like, LSD spiked in this movie. Apparently James Cameron's also an asshole. That might have also led to the stabbing in the pen. She might have been stone cold sober. I don't know.
James Cameron was an asshole in the production?
He's always an asshole. He married Linda Hamilton, and she said, how does it feel, being, married to somebody who's, directed you in, like, Terminator and all these other cool movies? And she said, well, the only person he really likes working with is himself. That's why we're getting a divorce next month. Yeah.
That's the way it goes, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. But apparently he's, like, also does not give a fuck, because he made how much money on these movies?
Yeah, it's the way it goes,
It's like the same, he is M. Bison of film history.
You know what, let's dive into the movie, let's really get into it. Let's go.
I know, I'm gonna keep getting off on a tangent.
Let's talk about some of the beats we liked about this movie. Like, give me a beat you liked.
Oh, favorite beat?
Yeah.
My favorite beat, absolutely, without question, is, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure playing with you tonight. That is the only moment in this movie. My favorite part is, like, before that, but, like, it's the same thing or whatever, where it's like they like pack up or whatever, and then they just go right back to playing. Yeah. I actually teared up for that part. I was right, like, there. Holy shit. That is the only moment in this movie that actually, like, fucking got me. Like, teared up and all that stuff, because that shit's real. Yeah. That was real. And another thing, Cameron is also an asshole, because he found actual records of the Survivor, and those are the accurate songs they had played up until the end. Holy shit, really? Yes. Oh my god. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, anything in this movie that could be corroborated by eyewitness accounts was corroborated. And that's just another thing where I'm like, there should be a statue to those men. They were doing God's work. They really, I mean, like, those guys, man, they really stuck it out till the end doing what they loved, type of thing. Men, it was an honor playing with you. And the only thing about that part of the movie fucking got me. It kind of sucks too, because it's like, all the people dying on the ship, or like, I'll never let go, Jack. Like, those things don't get me. But those guys playing the violins, it's the fucking brotherhood, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That part of the movie, that's the only part in this movie that actually, like, snaps my soul in half. Yeah. The other parts of this movie that I really do enjoy is when they're down in, like, the lower decks and they're having, like, the little shindig party thing, right? Oh, yeah. It's just so good. That part there is the only part where I'm like, okay, this really feels like whirlwind romance, fun, just they're enjoying kind of life, and it feels less sterile than the other parts of the film, and that's also because they're in the more sterile upper decks and all that stuff. But that's the only part where I'm like, okay, I can actually see, like, why these two would love each other. I can actually see why this romance would kind of, like, feel right. I mean, that scene is also really, really good. Just, like, everything about it, like, the whole whirlwind that they're in. The one when the guy comes down the stairs to, like, and he starts spy on them, and he looks like a Scooby-Doo villain, Like, that man is a Scooby-Doo villain. I'm waiting for him to pull off his mask, and there's like, it was you, Lovejoy, the whole time. David Warner, that's who he is. Yeah, Lovejoy, huge character actor for. But yeah, ever. he, I mean, also that guy was another person who kind of didn't get their, like, explanation of, like, why they were such a bad person. Why was he so loyal to Cal? Well, I understand why he's so loyal, but, like, well, there's a point where it's like money can buy you a lot of loyalty, but he's like, yo, like, go fucking, like, murder this. There's a lot of loyalty there, and I'm like, that's the thing. There's so many of these side characters where I'm like, I just want to watch, like, their story. I want to watch the quartet's just story or whatever. Like, that would be fascinating. Or the couple where they're, at the end of the movie, it's like one shot. And they're, like, holding each other's hands as it's, like, the water's rising, and they're, like, kissing each other goodbye, and it's like they're laying in the bed. Yeah. Because that was a real couple. Yeah. In, like, First Class, I think they were, I want to say that guy was one of those, like, oil tycoons or whatever. He's, like, a multimillionaire, and, they're like, okay, women and children first, and he said, I'm going to stay, as a man, I'm going to go down with the ship, get as many women and children on the boat as possible. And his wife, as he was trying to put her on the boat, said, I followed you this far, I'm not going a foot farther without you. And they went back to their fucking bed. Yeah. And I'm like, that's like one of those real, actual love story things where I'm like, I would be fascinated to see that. Or like the ship
there was like two ship designer guys, right?
Well, yeah, there was the one who actually built the ship, Andrews, and then there was the guy who basically came up with like the concept and like funded the fucking thing.
Yeah, the guy that like built the ship, right? He's the one that they see at the end that gives Rose the life jacket.
Yeah, that's Andrews.
Yeah, and like his story, the story of Andrews, you know, he just eventually just goes down with the ship.
And also, I love, that's another moment that I really loved about this movie, where it's there and everything's falling and he just resets the clock, kind of thing, where he's just like, you know, I built, it's like he's saying goodbye to a child.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, I brought you into this world and, you know, you're going down, but I'm not going to leave you. And I'm like,
he has such like a righteous moment there too, where like, if they built the ship the way he thought they should,
he would have saved so many more lives.
Yes, exactly.
It's one of those things where it's like, those moments of just, like, those moments of intimacy, that's the golden stuff about this movie.
Yeah.
And then you have the thing where it's like, fucking, you know, Rose and Jack, and I'm like...
Well, also that guy that's like the like comic relief of like the present day scenes.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I forget his name,
but like you know who I'm talking about, right?
Bondin?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say Bondin. But he's the bigger guy that's like the comic relief in like the present day scenes where he's a guy that explains like how the ship fucking sinks to the lady that was there when the ship sunk.
Yeah.
You know, where it's one of those things where it's like, what are you doing, man?
Well, that's another thing where it's just like, you know, the thing where it's like the farther you get away from actual events, the more callous you can talk about them.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, this guy is kind of personifying that because, you know, 85 years ago is when this thing happened.
Sure, yeah, it's kind of like making a point to where like we don't realize like what it, like, you know, Titanic isn't just a movie here, you know, it's a real event with real people, you know? I mean... It's the whole point of why James Cameron is so accurate with the movie is to make sure you realize these real people, right?
Which is kind of the crazy part, because there was an actual Titanic survivor. When the movie was being released and premiered, she was 98 years old. He invited her to the premiere, and she said, no thank you, I already saw it. It's kind of the same thing with, like, Saving Private Ryan in D-Day, where it's like, I could not imagine watching the worst moments of your life on a giant screen. Could you? Because that's the thing. We're gonna watch Saving Private Ryan eventually.
Yeah.
And, you know, people always say, you know, there was this whole thing where D-Days, the old World War II veterans would run out of the theater saying, I could smell the fucking sand. And I'm like, could you imagine?
I mean, it's like watching Platoon as like a Vietnam veteran. Like, you just don't. Like,
there's some things where you're just like, There's few things in this world I will say no to after what I've seen. Platoon is fucking one of them.
Yeah, it's like why would a Titanic survivor watch Titanic? There's nothing good could come of this. Which is kind of like a crazy thing because a bunch of people love this movie.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, you really love this movie? This movie's like not awful in like the way it's made, but like awful in the fact that like, oh, this is an awful thing that happened to real people.
Well, I mean, it's the other thing where, you know, people would say like, man, why do you love war movies? That were awful things that happen to real people.
Yeah.
But it's the whole dichotomy thing. It's like that separation from like what really happened and like the story that's being told and that kind of thing. But this, I could definitely see why people would love this movie. Because let me
especially
be honest.
If there's somebody that has like that fantasy of being whirlwinded by like a, you know, a fair maiden of a upper crust or some shit, you know, or
yeah, I mean, like, as a just whirlwind love story kind of thing, I could definitely see people loving this movie.
Yeah.
It's also just like a really well made movie. There's not really that many bad performances. Like, they're all good performances with moments of kind of awkwardness.
Yes.
But overall, this is actually a really good movie. Granted, this movie had people had hate bonus for this movie for years. Years.
I was over here not looking forward to this movie. I mean, and I still probably, if you were like, hey, do you want to watch Titanic again like a year from now? I'd be like, nah, pass.
Nah, pass?
Nah, pass. Like, I've seen it. I appreciate, you know, James Cameron's like kind of like artistry work on the movie, you know. The performances were pretty good, you know, but like, I'll just leave it be. You know, I don't need to watch it again.
It really just feels like a technical achievement more than anything else, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's good like beats in the story, you know, like like, you know, draw me like one of your French rolls, like that whole like kind of like
the most
sequence.
memed sequence of all time in this movie.
But the thing is that sequence is good.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
I think it is too. It's a really just. I know it's ruined by old Rose being like, it was the most erotic moment of my life.
Oh god!
And I'm just over here. I'm like, oh god.
You're like, why? Why is that in the script?
I know, and it's one of those things where it's like a really like romantic, hot moment, and then it gets kind of ruined when she kind of nudge, wings, points it out to the audience. I'm like, fucking A. James Cameron, why'd you do this? Oh, another fun fact. James Cameron is the one who actually drew the picture.
Really?
Yeah, but he's left-handed, so they flipped it in post. Yeah.
All these little things.
Motherfucker.
Small things.
James Cameron is the most detail-oriented anal bastard of all time. Like, to a astounding degree.
I mean, I give him credit, you know, like, I'm probably not going to watch too many James Cameron movies and be like, oh, that guy was holding the pen in the other hand type shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not going to fucking happen with his movies.
It's true. And it's one of those things where it's like, this fucking movie, like, I really want to talk about more about this movie, you know, like themes and things like that. And I'm like, there are
a lot of themes, yeah. This, like, you know, at the end, you know, there's like the theme of like camaraderie and like, you know, being together in your last moments and all this other stuff.
You know, it's like comfort in death. You know, and it's the other thing where Rose makes a comment. It's like, the only thing I'll remember of Jack is a memory, and I'm like, that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many people you'll meet in your life who will have a profound effect on who you are, and all they will be is a memory, no pictures or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
here's another thing though about like near the end of the movie. Why does she throw it in the ocean? Can we get to that? Can we already talk about this?
Yeah, sure. So at the end of the movie, old Rose throws the heart of the ocean, this multi-million-dollar diamond.
They say it's worth more than like the Hope Diamond. So this bitch is worth like that diamond itself is worth like, I don't know, like $1 billion or some shit.
A fleet of Bugattis.
Yeah.
And she throws it into the ocean, and Randy has issue.
I get the whole symbolism of it, but like, why? This is like your thing to remember Jack by. Is it because it reminds her of Cal? Like,
No.
why is she throwing it in the ocean? Is it to return it to Jack? It's not Jack's, it's hers.
I don't think she's holding on to it because it's her token of Jack. I think she's throwing it into the ocean, being like, almost giving it back to those who like perished, kind of thing, where it's like, you know, this is it's the heart of the ocean, and that's a very on the nose thing.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
she's giving the
course.
heart back to the ocean, right?
Sure.
So it's like, I think she's doing it. It's like, you know, I'm giving this thing that was, you know, whatever, just back to all those who were lost, something like that. It's a really weird moment, and I know there's probably people yelling out there being like, how do you not fucking get this?
Well, I get it, right? But I'm just, it seems like so impractical to me, you know? I'm like when she threw it over the edge, I'm like, Grandma's gone senile. She doesn't know what she's doing. Somebody stop her. Where's her caretaker?
Jeez.
I'm just like, you know, she just threw away like all of her grandchildren's futures.
They seem fine. She's making pottery.
I guess, but it's just like, bruh, all of her grandchildren's like, you know how much money that is? Like, that's grandchildren's
that's the
futures.
Thing.
Like,
that's the cow
idea.
idea.
I know, but it's like, you know, at some point you gotta be realistic, you know? Even at some points Jack is like, you know,
Randy's over here being like, Cal's the real hero here. Jack's
he's
just
not the real hero.
Jack's just trying to take her away from security.
No, it's not that. Like, she should obviously pursue her dreams and whatnot, but I mean, like, if pursuing her dreams was like literally burning money, I'd be like, you know, maybe you should slow down.
she you know, rode horses and flew planes and shit. And
That's
had a
all
lot of
cool
babies
and whatnot. Yeah, it's great. Also, another thing I want to talk about is how does the next man she gets with, right? Like,
live up to Jack.
Live up to Jack. Like, that's a big ask,
dude. Like that Could we just get, like, the 20 minutes where she meets, like, I'm trying to think, who would beat, like, young Leo in charm?
Like, she's gotta have met, like, literal fucking Fabio afterwards. And she probably would have still been like, you're nice and all, but I think we can work this out. Like, how does she go from Jack, right, from this whole thing with this thing with Cal and Jack, and then just, like, meets another man and has kids and moves on? Like, what the fuck? Like, I want that story, too, about how she tries to get over this thing, where she watched the man she loves die in her arms and only have met him yesterday, and then she just, like, goes out, to California, pumps out a few kids, and, fucks off.
I mean,
Like, what? Huh? Who is this man? Who is this fucking ungodly man?
Dude, it's Chad.
Or were like the relationships like one of those like old couple relationships where they just hate each other? Like, how did it turn out? Is she like a twice divorcee at this point? Or
No. Like she was with Jack, and then she met Chad. Fucking this absolute Chad. Swept her up off her feet. That's what happened.
Like. This is just something that, like, I was thinking during the movie, because obviously it comes up where it's like, well, she did have kids, obviously.
Yeah.
They weren't with Jack, obviously.
Well, maybe the first one was.
Oh my.
I mean, they bonked in the car.
They did.
Real hard. It fogged up real good.
I don't think it would survive.
You don't think?
I mean, the water?
I mean, she was strong. She survived. Maybe could have survived.
I don't know.
I trust Jack had strong swimmers.
Okay, but anyways, it's just like one of these things where it's kind of like, it's like digging in the back of my head while I'm watching this movie, being like,
your whole hang up. It's like, what happens after to get us to the present day with her, right?
Yeah, like I want a little bit of bridge,
This is already 3.5 hours, dude.
Yeah. But I mean, they could probably like just cut a little bit back of some of the like superfluous stuff,
You're like, can we get like an extra like 10? Just a quick 10.
No, just cut back a little bit and then add it back on, but elsewhere,
No, fuck it, make it 4 hours.
Ah, God, yeah, just make it 4.5 hours. Fuck it.
Just make it easier.
But it's just like these little things about the story like kind of dig at me, where I'm like, there's something missing there. No, there's something missing there too, because the story's so bland. It's so milk toast.
It's the story is just so easy, I guess, because there's nothing in it that's really like complicated
to get. Baby food version, like watching Easy Rider, right? That was like a fucking like steak with all the trimmings and stuff,
And that movie was made on a ham sandwich.
Yeah, but this is like, the story for this one is like a baby food, right? It's baby's first romance, Easy Rider was like, nah, this is some advanced shit.
It's one of those things where I just don't have honestly, I kind of really like the movie. I don't have any disdain for it.
I can't get to it,
You can't ride the wave.
I want it to meet me halfway, but it's not, And
you're just like, I give in that this is a melodrama. I give in that this is a period piece. I give in to all this stuff.
I like period pieces. I heckin' love period pieces.
You heckin' love them.
I heckin' love period pieces.
We just became a good Christian podcast. Gosh darn it.
I heckin' love me a period piece, I like Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon's a great movie.
Barry Lyndon actually has like kind of like a weirder story than this one, because it's like, the steps in that guy's life are so jumbled and kind of strange in the way he gets from one place to another, in that movie.
Yeah.
But like this movie is very straightforward, and somehow I'm more like confused with this one than I am with the one in Barry Lyndon,
Okay. Is the confusion just how did this movie make this much fucking money?
How did this story get this far? It's because it's like it's because they're throwing peanuts out to the fucking masses at the theater. Like
Randy's just like, why do you people, you
dirty plebs, and your taste in fucking movies.
This is why capitalism works.
but I mean, like, there's a ton of things that are great about this movie. I mean, the costuming is gorgeous. All the stuff that Kate Winslet wears in this movie looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jack's, like, little outfit, right? It looks good.
Yeah.
Like, all the costuming for all the characters in this movie is fucking, right there, like, gorgeous. So good. My girlfriend would, like, cream herself in this movie.
But yeah, like, that's the thing. All the production aspects of this are flawless.
It's just disgustingly show of force for the whole studio that made it, you know?
Yeah. And then it's, in your thing, it's just like, but the script, was the script 20 pages?
This script probably had less fucking pages than the one for Easy Rider, and the one for Easy Rider doesn't exist. Like,
would that be the biggest Chad move of all time if James Cameron, like, literally made the movie up on the fly?
I mean, yeah, I would be like, you know, makes like the way the movie is made makes sense to me. I just wish that it was made slightly differently.
Is it just you just wanted what more?
No, not more. I wanted maybe more in the sense of like the plot, more nuance between the characters. You know, like Cal has a reason for being the way he is. It's not a good reason, but he has one, and it's kind of like shown light, you know? Like, the only thing we really get is that he's like aristocracy and trying to stay that way. He's a very old school type of guy, right?
He's entrenched wealth.
He's entrenched wealth, but like it doesn't get shown well, and the further we move from like that time period, right, the less it'll make sense to audiences. Right, of why he's that way, because the further we move away from like literal Victorian era aristocracy, where if this was like a Victorian piece, like, or you know, like set like earlier, you know, like in the late 1700s or some shit, you know, like obviously the way he's acting, like, yeah, you kind of expect characters to act that way, you know, it's kind of like the way it was type of shit, but like this is kind of like that turn of the century, 1912, like 1914, you know, it's kind of like more modern day, you know what I mean? We get more modern day, like Kathy Bates' character, you know, the way Leonardo DiCaprio acts, it's like, you know, we're in this transitional period, right, where there's like this tension between the way these characters act, you know, the new money and the old money, but it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make that much sense for the audience, to where it's like, you need that like little explanation, you know, that little extra something to like be like, oh, okay, I get it, you know, like with like how Cal acts.
I mean, I was just picking up on the whole thing that, oh, he was entrenched, like, old money, like that, you know, rich person aristocracy, and he's one of these guys that just looks down on like the poor kind of thing.
Yeah, but the thing is that his fiance isn't one of these people, you know? It's like, why why is he not giving her any little thing to work with him, right? Like, is he just expecting to beat the shit out of her? Well, then why doesn't he just start beating the shit out of her? I don't mean to be like that, you know, but it's like, it seems like that's the logical next step, right? Like,
well, he's picking up Rose, like, you know, he's buying a pretty bride. Like, he's like taking Rose like a business transaction.
Yeah.
Right? He's full objectification. And like, I can see Cal as being this person who's overly superficial.
He is.
About the universe, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, he's just a scummy guy. And I think if we get a explanation as to why he's a scummy guy, we kind of get it. He's a scummy guy because he's this entrenched wealth that just spawned scummy guys.
I guess. But it's kind of like one of those like self-fulfilling things, you know, where it's like he's entrenched wealth, therefore he's entrenched wealth.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, there's nothing there, you know? It's like, I open the box and that says entrenched wealth on it, and it goes like, fuck you to me. Like, it goes like, fuck you, it says entrenched wealth on the box. What do you need to open it?
Did you want a backstory that his parents beat him?
I just wanted something. I wanted, like, him to be like, you know, I need this, like this whole, like, marriage between the two of them. I need it to go right because, like, some reason, you know? Because it's gonna make me, like, look good to other people. Like, give him some, like, more spew words from his mouth reason, you know, like something.
Right, he's like, I want a little bit more explanation from Cal. Is that it? You just wanted Cal just more explanation?
Yeah, like why is he this way? He just kind of like throws tables and runs off, you know. He's a little baby.
I wonder if it'll work better for you if it's just like Cal's marrying Rose because he's like he stole her from somebody else, and for him it's like a victory, right? And
Well,
Rose is somebody who's a pawn in a game.
Another thing, though, is that, like, Rose's family, right, they're supposed to be, like, totally out of money, right?
Yeah, they're basically, like, just living on names.
It would make more sense for it to be the other way around. For Cal to be, like, the one that's, like, almost out of money, living on his name, and he's trying to marry Rose to, like, get back into the aristocracy, right? So he'll do every goddamn thing in his power to get this marriage underway. That would make more sense to me. But it's just like, why do you want Rose? Her, you know, her family isn't worth dick all anymore.
But Kate Winslet pretty fine though.
Yeah, she's kind of fine, but like, you know, he doesn't lust after her or anything in this movie, right?
Yeah.
That's not shown. It's very, very high and tight, you know, of like, you know, we'll have ourselves a good old time after our wedding day type shit, you know? He's not lusting after her. It's just like, I don't get his motivation, you know?
Is the whole crux of the reason you don't like this movie just Cal?
No. Like, I mean, the whole thing between, like, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, too, is kind of flimsy-ish.
Really? Is it just you don't like the star-crossed lover thing?
Well, it makes sense, but it's kind of like one of these things where it's like, you know, it takes a while for Kate Winslet to, like, really just, like, let herself go and, like, kind of quote-unquote dump Cal. Like, the boat's already fucking sinking by the time this happens, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of these things where it's like, she already wants to get away, and, like, Leo is, like, right there. I mean,
and Leo is laying the charm on hard. That guy could get into, like, a nun's pants.
Another thing is, like, Kate Winslet also doesn't do the thing that I would kind of expect her character to do, where she puts up a front for Cal and then sneaks off with Leo. That doesn't happen. That's one of those things I would expect to happen in the movie, where she, like, puts a front, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna act all real nice and however you like near you, Cal, because I know on the side I can get to Jack.
She knows, like, as soon as if she did that, then her plan was, as soon as this boat lands, I'm just disappearing on the docks.
Yeah, like, that would make a lot of sense to me. Like, that, I would be right there with that, you know, where she kind of puts his front up for Cal. Does whatever you want, Cal. You know, I'll do anything you need me to do. You know, be all high and nice and pretty with you, because she's gonna sneak away with Jack, and then, you know, like, that would make more sense to me. But the thing is that she just kind of, like, is this kind of, like, bold woman, and just kind of, like, puts her foot down to Jack, and then, or to Cal, I mean, and then Cal just fucking flips the table at her, and he's like, do it, bitch!
Cal goes from 0 to fucking hard.
And then,
so quickly.
And then Rose just kind of, like, breaks down, but I think that's supposed to be her character, where she's, like, kind of, like, you know, getting big for her britches, and then she gets, like, smacked down by Cal, and it's supposed to show this moment where she's like, oh shit, I really don't know what I'm doing, you know? Which, I mean, yeah, it builds her character in a way, but it's just one of these things where I wish it was, like, slightly different. Everything was a little tweaked, a little more nuanced, a little more reasons why.
Randy's looking at this movie and is like, if you go, like, 5 degrees either direction for these little plot beats, this movie gets so much more interesting.
Yes. But it wouldn't be as, like, mass appealing, you know? There'd be, like, little things. They'd be like, why does Cal need redeeming features? He's a dick, you know? He flips the table at Kate Winslet and shit, and she's so hot.
The Kate Winslet drawing scene that has ruined 1,000 socks.
Yes.
But I kind of see where you're getting at. I can sympathize with it. I still look at this movie and I'm like, as just pure entertainment, it's really enjoyable. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Well,
actually, as pure entertainment, it's 3.5 hours long, so we're going to have to...
I
don't know about that one.
No, you just put in the second disc. You just put in the second disc, and then it's just explosion of the ship sinking.
Oh, true, actually.
Come on, dude. James Cameron knew for the home video releases. Like, look, you put the romance shit on the first disc, you put the action shit on the second disc. He knew.
I mean, maybe. But there were some good performances here. Like, the captain, the ship makers were really good. You know,
the quartet barely has any lines, and they're the most intriguing.
Oh, can we talk about Jack's sidekick?
Fabrizio.
Baby. He's got like the thickest fucking accent on.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his real accent or anything.
No, the guy's from like New York. Like
Danny Nucci.
Yeah.
But like every time I heard him talk, I was just like, why?
Well, so I found this out because I listened to an interview with that guy particularly, right?
Sure.
And he was like, yeah, James Cameron had me go to a speech coach and learn a period accurate, like, Italian immigrant English accent for the role.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, it just came out sounding super stereotypical, like, Italian pizzeria accent.
I guess. I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's one of those things where James Cameron wants to be really accurate with the movie, and so he's like, I want a period-specific accent of this type in this movie. And it's one of those things where you have to go to James Cameron and be like, you gotta bring in the reins a little bit. This sounds like shit.
Well, the other thing is, like, I also like Fabrizio's character.
I like his character, yeah.
Because in terms of, like, the comic relief characters of, like, that, he's, like, really charming, and he's, like, he's like, okay, put hand here, yeah, and he starts dancing around, and he's, like, hitting on girls, but he can't really, like, speak the language, but he's, like, he's trying his damnedest.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good character and all, it's just the way he
also
talks.
feels so sad when he dies, too.
Actually, that was kind of weird when he dies, because it's like, it's so over the top when he dies, I mean, it's over the top when, like, everybody in this movie died.
I mean, it's over the top because the whole ship flipped its top.
Yeah, but, it's one of those things where it's like, also we didn't get that much time with him, so, like, I don't really feel anything when his character dies.
It's like, I like Fabrizio at the beginning when he's there, and then he disappears for, like, a 40 fucking minutes of the movie. Probably like an hour of the movie.
Probably an hour and a half.
Yeah. That's a weird thing. There's a lot of people in this movie where it's like, oh, I remember these people, blah, 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 and they disappear for large chunks of the movie for Jack and Rose's romance.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I know that this version of the movie would make negative money. This would have been a worse bomb than Waterworld, but I really wish we just had, like, this movie that just told the story of, like, the Titanic's voyage, and it was almost a thing where you just passed through the entirety of the Titanic and you just caught all these different people along the way. There's this Russian art film, it's called Russian Ark, and it's done in one shot, and it goes through, I think it's the Russian palace, and it crosses from its construction all the way through the modern day in one continuous shot through all the rooms of the house, or of the palace. And I'm like, I almost want that, but
that movie sounds cool.
It's really cool, and it's incredibly impressive, because it actually isn't like rope or the high cuts. It was done as one long, like, production, and it actually is one long shot, like, digitally. Yeah, and there's no effect shots. Everything's, like, real camera work and real actors. There's no CGI in the movie, except one at the end, so they can, like, basically fade out into the universe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but I wish that was Titanic, because that sounds so much more interesting. But obviously we couldn't do that because we needed a
gargantuan budget.
We had a gargantuan budget, and also we needed a really just, maybe not a strong, but a digestible, like, plot to carry us through this movie.
Yeah, it's definitely digestible, like this, when you take a sip of this plot, it doesn't burn your asshole coming out, Like,
this passes the sniff test.
Yeah, this passes the sniff test. This is like sniffing a bottle of water, like, it smells like plastic.
You're like, it does the job.
It does the job, It's not like, with some movies where it's like sniffing a bottle of Tabasco and you go, ooh, what the hell is that in there?
You can put that shit on my milk, all right? That shit's great.
But, it's like, I have, like, my problems with the movie. I don't think the script was as strong as I would like it to have been. But, like, everything else with the movie was great. I loved the movie. It was good.
You went from pretty mediocre to, like, I kind of loved the movie.
I mean, I loved the rest of the movie. But taking everything into account, the movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I wish that there wasn't just the main thing of the movie. Just, it's like I took the plot like a bat and beat the rest of the movie over the head with it. Like, it just had to beat down the movie from I love it to it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the plot goes back on the shelf or whatever,
Goes back on the shelf to intimidate the rest of the production.
Yeah, to go and intimidate the rest of the movie.
Well, yeah. Alright, do you want to get to the AFI spot on this film?
Sure, if you want to. Do you have anything else to talk about for this movie? I feel like you haven't said that much.
Well, because here's the thing. Because I've seen this movie once before this. long ago on the VHSs.
Sure.
And I really liked it, and it's weird because I'm different than you, because I really like love stories, romance, melodrama stuff, because that big emotional stuff, it's just so enjoyable to watch,
Sure.
you know, because it's like, it's weird. I watch action movies, and I can, like, turn my brain off. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is gonna be fucking cool explosions. And I watch romance movies, and I'm like, oh, I can turn my brain off, and it's just gonna be, like, this cute, like, sweeping love story.
It's kind of like the thing that I really enjoy about these movies. It's, like, more like the introspective thing that happens with a lot of characters, you know, where they reflect upon themselves and, like, what they've done, you know, and, like, that's what I really like. But, like, the thing where it's, like, these two characters, and they're fueled by love, which is, you know, not a very logical thing most of the time, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't really get to me, you know?
I get it. I think it's another thing where I like the love story aspect of it. I'm like, I accepted that as the main plot, but I was really digging into like the memory aspect of it, because it's like that's one of those things that just fascinates me about like the human condition. I mean, I liked that whole setup. Yeah, and I love that setup, and I think filtering the film through that setup of memory, and also like the theme of it, it's like, I feel that's just a fascinating thing about like humanity, right? Like so much of us is just made up of memories, and sometimes memories of a memory. Yeah. And how we filter it, and how in that thing where it's like, I keep going back to her, you know, Old Rose's line where I don't have a picture of him. All he is to me is a memory. And I'm like, that's the point of the movie. All the Titanic is a memory of a thing that happened. Yeah. It's not like we are so far away from it, we can't even visualize what that could be. And then this movie does it, and we see, again, like as accurately as you could get what happened. And it's like, for a brief moment, we see the memory of what this is. And it's a memory of a memory. You know, it's the taco within a taco. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, anything to do with, like, memory, how humans, like, comprehend the universe around them, how they comprehend, like, their existence. I find that stuff just, like, easy to chew on. It's like the ending of Blade Runner, right? You know, it's like all these memories, like tears in the rain, you know? Yeah. You know, after Old Rose is gone, she will, if she would take the memory of Jack with her, everything about the Titanic, all the people who were just nothing more than names on a logbook, and she saw their faces. When she goes, they're all gone. Yeah. It's the thing where it's like everybody lives two deaths. Yes. You know, and it's like the death of the mortal body, and then the death of the last person. The last person who remembers you. And that's, Jack has lived on forever, but as soon as Rose goes, like tears in the rain. Like, that's the thing. I find that like a really just beautiful thematic thing in this film. Yeah, it's a beautiful theme and all, but it's just like... But then we hang out with this love story for like ever. Like, Titanic is like on the other side of the field, and I'm running towards it, and then at some point I hit an invisible wall, and I like stumble back onto the ground, and I look up, and on the invisible wall is written, "The Plot." And I reach out at the Titanic on the other side of this wall, and I can't get to it, you know? Right. It's one of those things where Randy just is really fucking trying, it's just not happening. You know? I mean, I would climb over the wall and all, but I don't know where it ends. I don't know. Okay, one last thing about the movie before we get to the AFI spot. The ending with the staircase. Yes. I couldn't take it. It was way too cheesy and over the top. I thought that was when Rose died. Huh? I thought that was her, like, when she goes to sleep and dies, and then she dies, and that's her. I know, but, like... The fact that it's like, congratulations. Yeah, where it's like, and then everybody clapped. I know. That was that was the cue for the audience. Yeah, but it's like, it's just so cheesy. I know. Again, that's the after effects of melodrama, you know, everything's big emotion, and that's... And you're supposed to be like, oh! You're supposed to turn over and start crying. Mm-hmm. That moment, a thousand teenage girls across America wept in one unanimous moment. Yes. All right. Number 83 on the list. Oh. Where does it go? Up, down, over, out? I don't think it goes out. I don't think it goes up. Just stay where you are, Titanic. We'll deal with you here. We'll see where you are later, because it's... Honestly, I don't think... see where you are later. Just like, lock the bitch in right here. Don't move it. Alright, just
Just move on from it.
Look, I think Titanic could actually like go down a couple of notches.
You think so?
There's some people who say this should be in the top 10, and I think those people are high.
I mean, as a spectacle of like just James Cameron, just like benching like an entire fucking boat over his head and being like, "Yeah, watch me make this fucking movie."
Yeah, as like a pure spectacle and a technical achievement.
Sure, like top 10 material, maybe.
Yeah, but as a story, like
as the movie as a whole, which is as we should take most like all of these movies, basically movies as wholes. It's got too many of them in it for it to really be in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think this is better than Goodfellas. I also don't think it's better than Sophie's Choice.
Well, yeah, so Sophie's Choice, it's got so much more than this movie.
12 Angry Men and Predator. Like, there's like some hard, like a score of movies. I'm just like, this is not even the best like 11 Oscar winner on this list.
But the thing is, though, is that Titanic is such a show of what you can do with the biggest of budgets. Like what is actually possible, you know?
And it's incredibly impressive.
I'm sitting over here defending Titanic. What am I doing?
I know, right? What the fuck is this?
What am I doing? But like I have to agree with like that like with that way of like describing its like spot, right? Is it's there for its production, you know, with how big it was, how accurate it is, I mean, they actually filmed the sunken Titanic.
Yeah.
You know, like, all of this stuff. How historically accurate all the costuming was. How big the whole production was. I mean, like, there's, like, the scene at the beginning where all the people, like, waving on the boat. And you can tell, like, they got, like, a shitload of people.
Yeah.
To do that. And it's just, like, you know, some of these things aren't done that much anymore. You know, they just CGI everything.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this movie is CGI. They never had a full boat.
Yeah, I know. But, like... They don't even try anymore, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They would have just CGI'd the sunken boat too.
Yeah, they don't get thousands of extras for a shot anymore. You know, like this doesn't really happen. Mm. But you know, like this movie just showed like you can really tell as big and grand a story as you can. You know, like the media will allow these things. You know, this medium is big enough to encompass these things.
Yeah, and it is a breathtaking movie at points.
Mm-hmm.
When the ship sinks, it is a breathtaking moment. But I digress.
Oh, speaking of the ship sinking, bonk.
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 That's so bad.
It's so bad, but like the sound effects that the people made when they like hit shit as they were falling was just like bonk.
You're bonk. Like this, James Cameron, you goddamn Looney Tunes bastard.
I'm like, it kind of ruins the moment. Like, that they just make like this fucking like stock sound effects, like dunk.
I mean, dude, that's the sound you make in real life, apparently.
I mean, probably, but it's like it's another one of those things. It's like Fabrizio's like accent, right? Sure, it may be accurate, but it kind of ruins the mood. Mm. Like the sound, like having sound effects for like the people falling to their death, it kind of ruins the mood.
You're like, it's already sad. Don't try and make me laugh.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the guy hits like the propeller or whatever and goes dink, and I'm just like, James, come on, who's your fucking sound guy?
Look, Randy. James Cameron's over here. Like, I'll apologize for the mistakes I make in my film when I make a mistake. It hasn't happened yet. That man is the true M. Bison of cinema.
Maybe, but yeah, I say. Just don't move it. Like, I'm sure it could move down, but like, just don't move it. Keep it here. There's a like, personally, I'm like, yeah, of course I can see a way for moving it down, but like, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, there is a reason for this, and it is a good reason. It shows like kind of this height of like what you can do with a period piece. This like huge, grandiose, big budget, like look what we can do type of thing.
Yeah. I would be fascinated to see the next movie that was this big that was not connected to a Marvel film. I guess Avatar we saw 2. That with Avatar 2, yeah.
Or there's going to be Avatar 2, right? That's what James Cameron's working on?
He's currently working on Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
4 movies?
Yes. All at the same time.
They better all be 90 minutes.
You would hope.
No, they're all going to be like 2.5 hours long.
3 hours minimum, and they will make so much money. It'll collapse a world economy.
The 3 of them are going to be like 2.5 hours long, and the last one's going to be 5 hours on the intermission.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he'll bring back intermissions in movies.
Honestly, I love intermissions in movies.
It's great. Gives you a moment to go up, take a piss, grab a snack, come back.
Sure, they kind of ruin the immersion a little bit, but it doesn't ruin it that bad.
Nah, dude. Actually, in Ben-Hur, it like enhanced it.
It did.
It was good. In this one, we got the intermission because they had to switch disc. It was nice.
Yes.
All right. Now we're finally the next movie on this list that we're gonna watch next week. We're gonna be watching Sunrise: A Song of Two Humans.
I've heard nothing but great things about this 1927 movie.
Yes, it's directed by F.W. Murnau. If you don't know who that is, he directed Nosferatu. This movie is also the first Oscar winner for Best Artistic Achievement in Cinema, which was a kind of like also Best Picture, but not called Best Picture.
Well, there's basically 2 Best Pictures back then, right?
Yeah, one for Artistic Achievement and one for like you made the most money, made us the most jobs kind of thing. That one was Wings. But this is a Sunrise of the Song of Two Humans. And again, I've heard nothing but great things.
Have you ever seen it?
No. I know.
Both going to see it for the first time?
Both going to see it for the first time. It's a silent film. From what I understand, this movie has been influential to Orson Welles, Alfred Hitchcock, Stanley Kubrick. Basically, like, all of those, like, old school, like, directors from, like, the 50s, 60s, and up into the 70s, they named this as one of their favorite films.
I mean, like, this movie is also on the BFI.
Yes.
And it's pretty high on the BFI.
I think it's in, like, the top 20?
Yeah, I don't remember if it's, I think it's like 27 or something like that, but don't quote me. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But, like, it's higher on that list, a list that takes all movies from all over the globe, you know, and it's way higher. Like, maybe Sunrise, like, actually we're going to watch it and it's going to be like, this movie way up there.
I mean,
I'm expecting a lot from this movie.
I did see people who were, like, film people saying, oh, I don't watch silent movies, but I watch Sunrise and I love that movie. So I'm like, apparently people say it's so good you forget it's a silent film.
It's like how I forgot M was in German.
Yes, that. But that's going to be next week on the Film Odyssey, and if you wanted to keep up with that, you can check us out on our Spotify and our YouTube channel, In the Frame. You can find that on YouTube at In the Frame. That's our YouTube channel called In the Frame. Go there. Subscribe. Watch our videos. But yeah. Any last words, Randy?
Why'd she drop the freaking diamond in the ocean? I mean, like...
It was a symbolic gesture, you cat!
Think of the money!
Alright, everybody. You have yourself a good week.
Yeah, have a good time.